It was springtime on the island of Sodor. The last bits of snow were clearing away and everyone was getting ready for the upcoming summer holiday. The engines were happy with the warm weather on the way and saying goodbye to their snowplows. The station masters were getting the stations decorated in time for the upcoming season. Thomas was excited. Sir Topham Hatt sent him to the docks to collect a special to deliver to Ffarquar. "What have you got there?" asked Stepney. "An egg," replied Thomas. "That will be made into scrambled eggs?" chuckled Stepney. "No," said Thomas. "This is a special egg," and he puffed away. Soon Thomas arrived at Ffarquar, and workmen placed the egg in the middle of the park in a special box. "What is that?" asked Veronica. "An egg," replied Thomas. "It's a spring decoration." "Oh my!" exclaimed Veronica. "That looks impressive." Later that night, Sir Topham Hatt arrived at the sheds. He had important news. "There's a wind advisory for tomorrow," he said, "so be careful when you are puffing along your line, because there can be flying debris." "Yes, sir," replied the engines, and Sir Topham Hatt left.
"Pah," moaned Gordon sleepily. "I'm an express engine. A bit of wind can't stop me."
Henry snorted. "Yes, Gordon, it may stop you. Wind can be very powerful." This made Gordon very cross.
"Pah,"
muttered Gordon, and went to sleep. But Thomas was worried. "What happened to the egg?" he asked his driver. "I'm sure the egg will do just fine," his driver replied. "And don't worry, we'll go see the egg in the morning." And then his driver and fireman went home to bed. Sure enough, that night the wind blew heavily. Trees fell down and covering parts of the line. Roof tiles on buildings slipped and fell down on the land below. However, the egg was still standing, but not for long. The next morning, Thomas arrived at Ffarquar for his morning train. It was still windy. Thomas looked around. Trees were scattered everywhere. Later, Percy arrived. He could see the look on Thomas's face. "Why do you look so sad?" he asked. "It's the egg," replied Thomas. "I'm afraid it won't stay there for long." Percy glanced at the egg. "It seems all right to me," he said. "I'm now off to take the mail train. Goodbye," said Percy. Suddenly, Thomas noticed something. "The egg is moving." "Don't be so daft. It can't," said his driver. "But it could." "It's rolling along the main line." Thomas decided to follow the egg. "There's a signal box," called his driver. "We can report about the runaway egg." His driver quickly told the signalman what was happening. "The egg is on Gordon's line," he said. The egg was still on the move. Meanwhile, Gordon was puffing along his line with the express. Then he saw the egg.
"Get out of my way!"
he yelled. The signalman quickly switched the points.
"What was that?"
asked Gordon. "It's the egg," called Thomas. The egg rounded a bend, and there ahead was Charlie. "Oh no," he cried. His driver quickly reversed him and steamed off. "Hurry!" "Better a smash than the smell of yolk," sighed his driver. At the yards, Veronica was shunting freight cars. Then she saw the egg. "Oh no, heading straight for me," quivered Veronica. egg yolk was scattered everywhere. Phew, remarked Veronica. When Sir Topham Hatt arrived at the scene, he looked at the damaged egg. "We should have been a bit more careful," he sighed. A few days later, a new egg arrived. Cranky was most careful as he lowered it into Thomas's flatbed. Thomas then arrived at Ffarquar. This time, the workman made sure the egg stayed in place. Just then, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. "Beg pardon, sir," asked Thomas, "but why did you get an egg anyway?" "Didn't I tell you?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "It's for the Easter party." Thomas felt excited. Later, Veronica arrived. "I'm sorry about your accident," said Thomas. "It's all right," replied Veronica. "But can you smell something?" Whoa, what? Fresh air?" "Oh, yes," smiled Veronica.